What happens when nearly every senior member of the royal family quietly fades from view, not in disgrace or scandal, but due to personal health battles and family priorities? What does it look like when the most enduring institution in British public life becomes almost invisible overnight? And who steps in to carry the weight of a monarchy when its most recognizable faces are no longer present? The story of the British royal family in 2024 was not marked by dramatic headlines or tabloid chaos. Instead, it was defined by something more subtle, yet deeply impactful: a slow, quiet transformation that changed how the world viewed the monarchy and how the monarchy sustained itself in a time of deep uncertainty. At the heart of this transformation was a woman who had never asked for the spotlight. Princess Anne, the second child of Queen Elizabeth II, had always been known for her quiet, relentless dedication to duty. But in 2024, her role shifted in ways no one had formally planned and no public statement could capture. While others stepped back, some by necessity, others by choice, and stepped forward. And she did so without fanfare, without demands, and without a moment's hesitation. The year began with hope, as King Charles III, finally ascending to the throne after decades of waiting, promised a modern and forward-looking reign. But that hope was quickly tempered by news of his cancer diagnosis. The details were vague, shared only in brief palace statements, but the impact was unmistakable. The king was suddenly absent from public life. Ceremonial duties, official engagements, state visits. Many were cancelled, postponed, or carried out without his presence. In a monarchy that depends heavily on symbolism and visibility, his absence created a sense of disorientation. The man who was meant to guide the institution into its next chapter was now, by necessity, silent. It was widely expected that Prince William, next in line and deeply popular, would step into a more active role. But just as the public looked to him, another challenge emerged. His wife, Princess Catherine, underwent major abdominal surgery. Details were limited, but the impact was profound. William chose to prioritize his family, staying by his wife's side and caring for their young children. His decision was understandable, admirable even, but it left yet another gap in the monarchy's public presence. Queen Camilla, who had often stood beside King Charles in recent years, also began to recede. At first, her absence was subtle. A missed engagement here, a lighter schedule there. But as weeks turned into months, it became clear that she, too, had withdrawn from public life. Whether due to her own health concerns or the emotional toll of her husband's illness, her role as queen consort diminished almost entirely. By mid-year, the visible presence of the royal family had all but evaporated. Royal events that once drew global attention felt quieter, emptier. Iconic ceremonies like Trooping the Colour, usually filled with pageantry and energy, seemed subdued. The Buckingham Palace balcony, once a symbol of continuity, appeared noticeably sparse. The institution that had weathered wars, abdications, divorces, and global scrutiny now faced an entirely different challenge: quiet invisibility. In this vacuum, no official announcement was made. There was no declaration of temporary leadership or emergency protocol. But those watching closely began to notice a pattern. One royal remained ever present. She wasn't featured on magazine covers, nor was she trending on social media. But she was there at events, ceremonies, military engagements, community visits. Princess Anne, often overlooked by the broader public, had become the steady hand keeping the monarchy visible. Known for her no-nonsense approach and unmatched work ethic, and had always been one of the busiest members of the royal family. While others attracted cameras and crowds, she preferred the quiet grind of service, opening community centers, attending memorials, meeting with local leaders. In 2024, that commitment became something more. She didn't just attend events. She filled the void left by her brother, her sister-in-law, her nephew, and the queen consort. Slowly, she became the face of the monarchy, not by title, but by action. What made Anne's role so compelling wasn't just the volume of her work, though she performed more than 450 official duties that year. It was her consistency, her reliability. while others were absent for reasons no one could blame them for and remained present. Always. Her calendar was packed. Her schedule was relentless. Yet she carried out each duty with the same composed and deliberate focus that had defined her decades-long career. Her rise was not the result of a plan. It wasn't orchestrated by palace advisors or driven by public relations. It was organic, natural, a quiet evolution born from necessity. And it challenged traditional ideas about power and visibility within the royal family. And, never destined for the throne, never seeking attention, had become the monarchy's most dependable symbol. Not because she asked for it, but because she showed up when others couldn't. In towns and cities across the UK, people began to take notice. Social media, usually dominated by discussions of William and Kate, shifted in tone. Posts praised Anne's commitment, her humility, her strength. News outlets began to highlight her efforts, calling her the reluctant hero of the royal family. But Anne never changed her approach. She didn't give more interviews. She didn't shift her wardrobe or update her public image. She simply kept working. Her charitable work also gained renewed attention. As patron of over 300 organizations, Anne's support spanned a wide range, from youth initiatives to rescue services. Many of her engagements received little media coverage, but they were deeply meaningful to those involved. She offered comfort in hospitals, recognition in military ceremonies, and encouragement in underserved communities. She wasn't there to be photographed. She was there to do her job. Inside the palace, staff and advisors admired her calm and disciplined nature. While others required complicated logistics or media strategies, Anne was refreshingly straightforward. She was always prepared, always punctual, and always willing to step in where needed. This earned her quiet respect among palace insiders, many of whom saw her as the key force holding the royal machine together during a time of strain. Public opinion began to shift. Polls reflected a growing admiration for Anne, surpassing even the favorability of Queen Camilla and Prince William. It was a rare moment when popularity was earned not through charm or charisma, but through grit and consistency. Anne didn't charm the public. She earned their respect. By the end of 2024, the monarchy was still adjusting. King Charles's health remained a private matter, and his return to full duties was uncertain. Princess Catherine continued her recovery away from the public eye. Prince William remained focused on his family. Queen Camilla's presence was still limited. The royal calendar was slimmer, and the energy surrounding official engagements had not fully returned. But Anne never slowed down. She continued to meet with service members, attend local gatherings, and uphold the crown's responsibilities. She became a bridge between the royal family and the public, a living reminder that duty still mattered, even when others could not fulfill it. There was no announcement marking her ascent, no formal title change or shift in protocol. But her presence told the story clearly. Princess Anne had become the monarchy's foundation in a year of upheaval. And in doing so, she offered a new kind of leadership. One not defined by lineage or media presence, but by strength, reliability, and a refusal to abandon responsibility. As the monarchy faces an uncertain future, the lessons of 2024 remain powerful. Institutions endure not just because of titles and traditions, but because of the individuals who show up when it matters most. Princess Anne did just that, quietly, consistently, and without asking for recognition. In a year marked by absence, she became the most present figure of all. If you found this story insightful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more behind-the-scenes updates and deep dives into the real lives of public figures. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light.